Here's the difference between narcissists and avoidants in the best way I can describe it, because I see a lot of misinformation in the comments of people saying that all avoidants are narcissists. This is simply not true. All narcissists have dismissive avoidant or fearful avoidant attachment. All narcissists have avoidant attachment to some extent, but narcissistic personality disorder is a personality disorder. So that is something that is on top of the avoidant attachment. So that means that not everybody who has avoidant attachment is also going to have a personality disorder. This is how it would look. Let's say you have two little boys. They're brothers. They grow up in a family of abuse and neglect. The older brother is the golden child. The younger brother is the scapegoat. So the older brother is treated as if he is perfect and can do no wrong, but the parents really only reward him for his accomplishments. He's not truly loved and he's not truly cared for being who he is. It's only through his achievements. The younger brother is the scapegoat. So he is the one who gets kind of blamed for everything, neglected, dismissed, ignored. Because both boys are not getting their needs attuned to correctly by their parents, they both form avoidant attachment. Both feel the need to be hyper independent and do everything for themselves. The older boy feels this way because he has to be perfect. He has to accomplish everything. He has to do this on his own or his parents won't validate him or accept him. The younger boy feels this way because no one is addressing his needs and no one cares about him, so he's on his own and he has to do it all on his own. Now, this is where things get tricky. The older boy, because of this striving for perfection, because he feels like he is so defective underneath unless he is perfect, he forms narcissistic personality disorder. It is formed on top of the attachment issue. The younger boy does not form a personality disorder. He's still avoidant. He has this avoidant attachment style because he did not get his needs met, but he did not form a personality disorder. Now, these two boys, as adults, are going to be two completely different types of people. Though they are both avoidant, the boy with the personality disorder is going to behave in a much different way. The younger brother, who is avoidant, is hyper independent, is afraid of commitment, is afraid of conflict, feels like he can't assert his needs in relationships, not so great at communicating, tends to, dismiss his partners after a while because he gets scared, his nervous system goes into overwhelm, he doesn't know what to do because he's always had to do everything for himself and survive on his own. No one ever cared about his needs, so he feels defective underneath. But he still has empathy. He doesn't enter relationships with malicious intent. He doesn't want to control his partners. He's not trying to manipulate them. He is simply just avoidant, and he probably doesn't even realize it. He doesn't understand when he enters these relationships that all this childhood trauma and that survival mechanism is going to kick in. Now, the older brother, who is also avoidant, but who formed narcissistic personality disorder, is going to behave in a much different way because his personality disorder is going to manipulate the way that his attachment style is expressed. Because narcissists built a grandiose false self in childhood, they have to continue to reinforce this false self. This false self is a shield of perfection. It is a shield of superiority. Because as children, they felt so incredibly defective and inadequate, the only way to survive was to create a false barrier, a false self that is absolutely perfect, and nothing can penetrate that false self. They are superior, they are perfect, they can do no wrong. So this older brother, he goes through life needing to reinforce his false self and his wounded ego. And the way that he does this is by using other people to make that happen. And that's what we call supply. People become supply to him. When he enters relationships, even if on the surface he thinks he's doing it for the right reasons, his personality disorder is not going to let him do it for the right reasons. He is looking for someone that he can manipulate and control to reinforce his wounded inner self. So he is intuitively going to look for empathetic, vulnerable, malleable people that he can get into the relationship, lock it down real quickly, and then switch up and start manipulating them. The abuse, psychological abuse, mental, physical, will start happening once he gets his partner within his control. So oftentimes they'll want to move in really quickly, or they'll just push things along very quickly. Now, avoidants sometimes do the same thing, but they're not doing it for the same reasons. Avoidants do it because they are swept up in the feelings of dopamine and they like how that feels. Narcissists do it because they want control over their partner. Once the narcissist has control over their partner, that's when they start the devalue phase. And so that's when you're going to start seeing the abuse. You're going to start seeing the criticizing, the belittling, the silent treatments, the gaslighting, and it is a torturous experience. I was in a 5-year relationship like this, and there is absolutely nothing worse than being with a narcissist. If you think being with an avoidant is bad, you have never been with a narcissist. It is absolute, unadulterated hell. Their entire goal in the relationship is to basically drown you of your identity, to empty you of anything that makes you feel joyous and happy. They want to steal all your good traits, all your pure traits of empathy and joy and love and laughter. They want to take that from you and they want to turn you into them, a miserable, depressed person that feels defective, that feels empty, that hates themselves. Will distort your reality. You will begin to question everything. You will be blamed for everything. They will make you think that you cannot survive the world without them because they are so superior that they have to tell you how to live. All sense of independence or autonomy will be lost. They do all of this because deep down, underneath that false self, they hate themselves, but they cannot let anything penetrate that false self. They have to continue to reinforce the fact that they are perfect, they are superior. Here's a great example of the difference between an avoidant and a narcissist. Let's say there's a glass of milk on the table, okay? And they walk by and knock it over and it spills onto the carpet, okay? The avoidant is likely to grab a paper towel and go and clean it up before anyone can see it because they don't want to cause any conflict. They don't want any problems. The narcissist, after they spill the milk on the carpet, is going to turn to the nearest person to them, point at them and say, "Why did you put that milk there and make me spill it?"